What's going down? Listen, this is your boy Herschel. He who trolls. Some of you guys know me as that one admin. Some of you guys know me as the BCL founder. With me today, I've got one a good friend, Mister the Real Deal Dion. Not to be mistaken with Primetime Dion. Not to be mistaken with Neon Dion. But we got Dion Donovan from behind the scenes. So thank you for showing up today. How's it
Yo,
going,
what's
man?
going on, y'all? What's going on, man? I'm just thankful to be on, BCL. You know what I mean? Y'all see me on behind the scene podcast. We be collabing sometimes,
Yeah,
drinking and trash talking and whatnot. So, man, I'm just, we heading into the New Year's, man.
yeah. Man, listen, we got one more day.
One more.
We got the rest of this day. Today's gone. You got tomorrow, and then that's it. Tomorrow's the last day, and after that is your new year. New year, new you.
Every
Um,
year is New Year, New You.
so tonight at 9 o'clock sharp, we are going to BC. The BCL team is going to give you the end of the year show. A lot of things in coming down the pipeline. I'm not going to even touch on it because I don't want to spoil it because they're still working on it, and there might be some rearranging going on. I 9 times out of 10 will not be able to make it because I will be out with the missus tonight. So I knew I had to be able to get some stuff off before this year closes out. I definitely wanted to come and do a mini show. And so I grabbed Dion because he was free. So we're not going to be on long. I know I always say that, and we be here 2 hours. We are not going to run up to 9 o'clock because I
No,
definitely don't
three,
want
four
y'all to miss
hours. Nah,
it.
not tonight. Nah, maybe
Yeah,
another night.
y'all make sure y'all. It's almost like church. How church used to be old school. Some churches still like that. You go in the morning and then you come back and have afternoon service. So y'all go home, eat a little something, come
Yep.
back in at 9 o'clock, and then they're gonna definitely have a great show for you in store. But listen, man, I know you're looking at the screen. And the screen, one of my aliases is probably my Herschel variant account. It says Black Superhero Renaissance. That's what the thought was 2 years ago. About to be 3 years ago. I said that February 1st, the first day of Black History Month. And I didn't do that because it was Black History Month. But let's talk a little bit about it. Is it dead? Was it really a thing? Like what Black Superhero? I mean, the, open us up, Dion. Open us
All
up.
right. So, oh, and what up, Frustrated Fan Sports Show? I see you in the comment section, man. What up, man? Glad to see you
Yeah.
here. Yeah. He who trolls, he always, them random times, man. Just like King. But yeah, for the last like 2, 3 years, 2020, if you really think about all of the titles that have come out that have featured predominantly black characters or black talent through the mainstream, through indies, through movies and television, it's been I want to say almost unprecedented. The amount of black comics, the amount of black superheroes who popped off, the amount of just hype behind it because we were all having fun. You know what I'm saying? In the last 3 years, you really think about the peak period of this when Milestone got announced for DC fandom about having a live action Static movie.
Yeah, and that
And
was in 20. That was in the fall of 20, I want to say, when they actually when Reginald Hudlin and Dennis Cowan was
Mhm,
like, no, we're going to do a move. We're going to things are coming. Everything's
right,
brewing.
and
Yeah,
an
I remember that.
animated Milestone movie, man. And then all those Milestone comics that were sitting in the dollar bins for years, the 25-cent bins, all of them got jacked up. Got jacked up, man. It was looking like Black Comics was like damn near a stock market and speculation and hype and all this. Um for like and I really think that it was a real thing because during that period, Black Lives Matter movement was happening. You went to a Barnes and Nobles and it was just black
Hi, how are
storylines
you? Come over
everywhere.
here. This is our
Yeah.
black section. I know you want to buy some comics. I know that's why you're here. We already got you set up. That's what they was doing.
For real, like
Yeah.
every single row. Children's book for black kids, adult novels for black people, like everywhere. And I really think that was definitely a real thing that we haven't. I'm not sure we haven't seen since like the '90s when Milestone first popped off, and Image. You know what I'm saying? If you really think about the news, well, I mean, let's just go through the comic books for a quick second if you want to. Mr. Miracle, right? He had a run.
Yeah.
Black
He had a
Mana.
run by Easton. Easton did, I think it was like a 6-issue run.
Mm-hmm.
And we did a big push to help promote that. I think that was last year though, 22. I want to say that was last year. I have to go back and check. I could be wrong. But go ahead.
We had Black Mana, right? He had a mini run.
Black Manta had like a 5-issue mini.
Right. Nubia had a mini
Nubia
run.
had they benefited off of Nubia. They pulled Nubia out. They went to the landfill and grabbed her from the bottom of the landfill and dug her up and said, "Hey,
Right.
get this to the black folks." They just and honestly, I think keep going, but I think out of those three, Nubia stood the tallest for me. I mean, those covers was fire. A lot of people, I think there's a lot of black folks that like to see themselves as white adjacent characters, and they just thought this was a black Wonder Woman, not knowing that she was created actually prior to Diana in comic canon as her older sister. And it took flight. I don't really see her as much anymore, but it took flight, absolutely.
Yeah, and she still was a Queen of the Amazons right now for our current ongoing series. So
that current run, yeah.
Yeah, so the longevity with her has been pretty consistent since her mini run. We got, dude, for the first time ever, like I mean, you might have to fact check it. We got a black Batman, right? DC Future State, Jace Fox.
We got a black Batman, and that was actually received pretty well.
Yeah,
and
it was
even received pretty well by he who some people won't
man,
say.
Man, John Ridley. Shout out to John. I don't care what the Call the Bats got to say, man. John Ridley, man. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss, but he definitely hit.
You're right. John Stewart was huge.
Oh yeah, yep.
DC kind of felt obligated to really say we're not going to be on the wrong side of history of this, and we're actually going to see if we can grab this back. Black folks run around in these streets, and okay, let's did they leverage this in their favor? I'll let somebody else argue that. At that point, we went out and bought those books.
We did.
You even had Far Sector. I want to say she was a byproduct of that time. I think she came out in 19, but still, things were brewing even back then. I want to say she came out in 19, but bro, DC, and guess what? The whole time this was going on, Marvel just had Black Panther and Miles. That was it.
That was it.
As far as leading their own titles, that was it. Everyone was like, "Oh, DC sucks. DC stinks." And DC was killing it with that, and those covers was not bad. The Far Sector's covers was hot. Most of Nubia's covers were hot.
You also had the Black History Month issues as well. I think like 2-3 years. Yeah.
The Black History covers, some of them would jive. During that time, they went outsourced and got some random people to do a lot of that. But for the most part, my dad told me about Far Sector. I was excited to know there was a new Black Lantern. Yeah. Absolutely. NBA Live girl. Absolutely.
Right.
Good time.
I mean, even Green Lantern, I think Green Lantern had a mini series with a predominantly black cast with John Stewart, the leader, Joe Mullen, and they had like 4 or 5 members who were black in the Green Lantern series.
Then we got and they wasn't done. They also gave us Teen Lantern, who really legitimately wasn't a Green Lantern, but she had a Green Lantern-ish device. If you go do your homework, she wasn't a Lantern. But it worked out. She's I think she's from South America somewhere, but we kind of pulled her in to say she was black, which is fine because it's black people all over the world. I ain't had no issue with that one. It was an interesting time. But the whole time this was going on from an admin's perspective, I was watching more people scream for movies than that was actually reporting that, hey, I'm actually buying these books. And that's what made me say, a lot of people are asking for movies, but they're not supporting these characters from the ground level. Well, everybody's not a reader. Numbers matter. If a lot of these black characters, and I know y'all like, oh, y'all talking a lot of mainstream. We're gonna get into some indie. Stay tuned. We finna talk some indie shop. But a lot of these DC characters, they did their, even with Marvel, they'll give them a little 5 to 7 issue run, and people will complain, but,
It's too
but
short.
nobody's like buying them because
Hmm.
if people are they're being sold out, and then the LCSs are being able to forecast that hey, people are going to go out and buy these books, they're going to order more, but they didn't order that much because they were falling off the shelves because people were like, oh, I want to see us in movies and shows. Don't really care so much about the books. Now there was a sector of us that went out and we supported these books. We got the one for 25s, we got the one for 50s when it allowed. But I think that's what really crippled and hurt that.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I think I Am Batman, Jace Fox run was the only one that went to like 20 issues, past 6. He had like 3
Yeah.
ones. So you think about it, Future State, I think another mini one, a prequel one, and then the one when he moved to New York. So that was the only character that really stood out for a few years of like consistency of the numbers, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is it? Paralysis, Dragon Ball Z,
Dragon Ball
Herschel, how
Z.
you just gonna spring a
Listen, man. Listen tonight. I'm gonna do several announcements. Announcement number 2. Make sure y'all come back tonight at 9 a.m. 9 p.m. Not 9
9 p.m.
p.m. So we're gonna do a actual live end of the year show. This is a mini show. Certain topics. I probably won't be able to make it. Unfortunately, no, everybody's sad now, but I probably won't be able to make it. So I definitely wanted to kind of say my 2 cents before the year is over with. And we definitely got the top 20 Black comics of 2023. There's gonna be a lot of surprises in that because I'm still at this point. I looked at what number 1 was, and I was like, bro, how did this book get number 1 over all these other books that's out here? But man, y'all gonna see because the numbers, because we're going off numbers. So y'all gonna see what that looks like. But yeah, definitely come back at 9 o'clock tonight. Make sure you tell your wife you need about a couple hours. You get back to her later. Make sure y'all have something to eat. Make sure you're ready to rock and roll, man. Because we will
get your libations. You know what I mean? Get your
yeah,
libations.
libations, man. Make sure y'all have that set. But yeah, but so far right now we're just talking about what was that period, and I want to say I would call the Black superhero renaissance 2019 to probably. I kind of want to almost argue into Tozen. After Tozen, it was a wrap because Tozen brought in some crazy numbers. That one
Tozen,
for 25 hit over 1,000.
probably the most overhyped, underused character of like literally. Hey, let's put a spec character in here just to pop the sales and never use them again.
Spec. If people did not
Man.
people did not like the first issue of that Black Panther. People start getting nervous. Chat's gone. I did say we weren't gonna try to focus be so hyper focused on Black Panther tonight, but this is that one time he's gonna come up. That run, the infamous run of John Ridley, that issue number 3, we were still on the down end of that speculation age. That book did some serious numbers. Now you probably saying, "Oh, you could trash the character now all you want because we're not in the Black superhero renaissance era anymore. We're not in this speculation boom anymore." So at the time, the one for 25 did over $1,000. Now you can probably grab that book for I'm probably going to say 100 and some change. But if you got in early and you bought that book and you got it slabbed at a 9.8, you made a couple $1,000. If you did it right, you could have made a couple $1,000.
True. I mean, I would say Marvel had a little bit of a clap back as well in terms of like I would say the era almost it started in 2019. I think it crashes this year. Simply because if you look at Marvel, like L Dog just mentioned, shout out to you, man. Ghostlight, John Jennings' Ghostlight, that came out. We had we had Photon had a miniseries that came out. We had Blade came out with a miniseries, and Blade's been kind of more prominent lately in Marvel Comics. And I mean, Marvel didn't really hit us too much with and then we had the Marvel Voices, was that something that came out before 2020 or not?
Marvel Voices came out. I want to say the barbershop variant was hot, and that one still pulls a nice little premium.
Yeah.
You're not talking in the hundreds, but that's definitely one that you don't want to say you let that book, got out of the price range for you.
Hmm.
A lot of people that did. But that one is a key for a weird reason. I forget why that is a key. But yeah, man. So it looks like back in last year, August, was when I first started feeling. And I
Mm.
said, are we still in the middle of a black superhero renaissance? And this was, so remember, Tozen dropped in February of 2022. And so then after that, then after that, we saw what was going on last year after that. We saw, was it Ant-Man came out this year, right?
Yeah, Ant-Man
And
Quantumania
then
came
it
out
was
early this year.
Multiverse of Madness. It did some good numbers, but
Oh, it did. Yeah.
the reviews were horrible. And so people started people were already shaky with Disney Plus. I'm gonna call it, I'm just gonna call it out. When the
Uh-huh.
first couple of episodes of WandaVision came out, a lot of people that got it understood. They were like, "Oh yeah, it's great, it's great, it's great." But a lot of people was like, "What are they doing? Like, we don't want no Andy Griffith, Scarlet Witch." Then it got better, right, over time.
Right.
But then in 2022, you had Moon Knight. I wasn't a fan. It's just I like Moon Knight, but I just wasn't a fan of that series. And this is where we're in the middle of saying, is Marvel still good, or is Marvel on the downstroke? And Marvel was leaning in the down area. Then we got Multiverse of Madness, where a lot of people didn't like. Then after that, you
Made
had
almost $1
Thor.
billion though, off the hype of
It
No Way
did make the
Home.
bank. It did make its bank. You had Thor: Love and Thunder, which was silly, goofy.
Yeah.
Just did not. You had a lot of Black Panther fans excited there because they was going to see a bass, but then I think the camera pinned by her.
It
And
was
that
just
was
like
it. Yeah, let's not
Cameraman just
forget
went just like that.
Isom, the most successful comic in 2023, over 3 million on the
Oh,
first issue. Yep, can't forget Isom, and that
no.
wasn't that last year? No, that was this
This last year, I think this year he's on
last year as
volume
well.
2, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's on volume 2. He's gonna do Alpha
Yeah.
4. And guess what? Regardless of where you stand on your political spectrum, whether you Democrat, Republican, Independent, you left leaning, you alt right, you could be. I don't know where you stand. He still made his bank. It is what it is. And you know what? The argument that I made back to a lot of people, and when I say a lot of people, I'm talking about Black superheroes forever, Black comic lords. You can say what you want about him, but if you the argument with him was, especially amongst the Black folks that I spoke to, was, oh, well, he's making his money from racist white folks, or he's making his money from this and that third. I had that argument, but where are the Black folks that are bankrolling the Black creator, the Black writer, to basically do the same thing? Let's have a conversation about that. We can take Ripper and put him over here. Now, where's the Black guy that y'all supposedly want to get behind and do the same thing? Because if you say, well, it's economics, we ain't got the money. I mean, you can look at shoes. Like, Black folks, we got the money. We just choose to spend it in different areas.
True. We're the
Like
richest
they
Black
already
folks
said,
on the planet.
yeah, they already said with the Nikes and stuff, that's like with just Black folks. And people say, well, how do they know it's just Black folks? Because when you make a transaction with that Visa card, it has all your information. That goes straight to the data stream. They're able to tell you, just like with movies. How do you know how many Black people went to a movie? When you use a card, they can pull up those demographics, and that's what they use to pull that data number. So I'll leave that in the chat. Maybe it's a conversation we can have at a different time, because that's one of the ones I want to have a whole separate live on, is
For sure.
how can we replicate the success of Rippaverse amongst different places. But the beautiful thing of what Ripper said, he's actually giving us the blueprint of how you do it as a Black, and how you do it as an independent artist.
In general.
Period. In general, he put out like 2 videos, and it's a lot. Again, regardless of where you stand on his politics, all the information is some damn good information.
Yeah,
but
I'd say you're definitely right, man. Eric the Guapo said, if that is racism, these folks are doing it wrong. I mean, I think that you definitely got to count Ripper for the Black superhero renaissance. You got a Black superhero as one of the most successful indie crowdfunding successes of all time, and on the platform. I mean, he was so successful, he didn't even need to go on Kickstarter. He went and did it on his own website.
He said,
it's crazy.
Here's my comment. Y'all buy it.
Pretty much.
Made him a millionaire if he wasn't already a millionaire overnight.
True.
and again, the argument that you're going to constantly hear is, well, he made his money from Comicsgate and stuff. Let's say all of that is facts. So what are you going to do about it? Who are you finna get behind right now and shoot your money to? What are we going to corporately get together and shoot our money to somebody? Or do I hear crickets? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. Let's replicate it. Stop complaining and replicate it. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Oh man.
I can name you some. I can name you some. Unique Studios could use it. I would love to see some bunch of people say Rodney, not just Rodney Barnes. He probably don't need it, but even Kevin Greavy, Kevin like his character. It's like, hey man, your books are doing good. Let's get your books into a studio. Oh, well, what studio? Well, black folks don't own studios. You got Tyler Perry sitting right over there. I'm pretty sure he rented his studio out to Marvel. He doesn't do anything with superheroes. And it comes out of premium, but pay the price. Even if that means, Dion, so we don't jump time. Even if that means you go on Tubi. Oh, Tubi. Oh, that's great value films. It's trash. Guess what? I'm pretty sure when ABC, CBS, and all these broadcasting companies, even Netflix, when Netflix started off, they was trash. They would give you a bunch of, they didn't have rights to a lot of these nice movies day one. It took time. We can build up Tubi and make it the next best thing.
We could.
Opportunity is still there. Millennial Comics said it is cheap to complain. How could I see you some money? How could I super chat? How could I super chat you for that?
Shout out to Vonell Young, Delta Dogs.
Shout out to Vonell Young, man. It is cheap to complain, man. Oh my God, costs you nothing.
That might be the statement of the year right there.
Oh my God.
In terms of this whole thing.
Listen,
but look, my last thing on Rippaverse is that name me one other indie writer / creator who hires ex Marvel and DC pros on their books. If anyone can name that in the chat.
The Shook obviously did that. The Shook is the anthology series, is the horror series that they're working on. I believe some of it is out.
Was that more of a collaboration or more of a direct hiring?
They hired a collaboration. Maybe it's both. I don't know. I'm not
both.
But guess what? What Shooks did, it should happen more often. And as a matter of fact, I wish they had a little preview video because I would have definitely showed it today. Avid Comics is teaming up with over, I believe, 40 different Black independent creators to come up with a story. They're actually working on it right now. I proposed an idea on TikTok, on our TikTok page. If you haven't followed Black Comic Lords on TikTok, make sure you do. If you haven't followed Behind the Scenes on TikTok, make sure you do. But I proposed that, and they took it and ran with it, set up a meeting, and then they're actually now working on it. And that comes off of the War of Independence #2, which is, for all rights and purposes, the largest collaboration of Black superheroes under one book. I mean, everybody who is a collector should own this book or should work to own it. It's less than $200, and if you play your cards right, you can probably catch it for less than $100. But it is a essential book that you gotta have in your stash, and it's made out of, it is very, very high quality. But yeah.
Big shout out to Tony Cottrell and Advent Comics for making it happen. I went on record on video this year saying that was impossible. As a writer and creator, I know how we get when it comes to our creations. I know how it gets to ego and copyrights, and my character can be yours. And he actually took your advice with your video and is making it happen as we speak. So hopefully next year we get some preview images and actually and see the work that they're doing, because I didn't think it was possible, and he actually made it possible. So big shout out to Advent Comics and Tony Cottrell.
Listen, shout out to them, man. I have we got to do a whole video on independent comics in
2024.
Black independent comics in Black spaces, because there's a lot of layers to this, man, when it comes to Black independent comics. Why some of them are successful, why some of them are not, the psychological stuff that comes in with Black people even buying Black-centered content. And the barriers that come to that. Because there's a lot of people man, that automatically think if I'm finna buy black, something about this book isn't finna be the standard because it's black owned, it's black made. That you know how many conversations I've had with collectors. It's like, yeah, man, but you know how they do. Like they get such a bad rap, and there's tons of them out there. And granted, I'm just gonna touch on just a touch. There's tons of them out there. I'm just gonna say this. That is not at standard. That's horrible. Marvel does the same thing, and y'all go out and you will deep down, reach down in your pockets and give them all your money, right? Week in and week out.
Automatically.
And like let's say, nobody's forcing you to go out and buy. I've said that 3 times. Nobody's forcing you. Nobody's forcing you. Nobody's forcing you to go out and buy it. But there has been a lot of horrible books that I've seen from Marvel this year, last year, including DC. And there's been a lot of tough, dope books from them. There's been a lot of tough and dope books for Black independent creators. We just have to share that information more. We're in the information age, but we got to start making posts, making comments about it to help with the promotion. Because I bring up Black Sands all the time. I have never read a Black Sands book in my life.
They even had an app where you could read it for free.
Yeah, but you know who talks more about Black Sands than anybody? We do. Right. Every time somebody lists, oh man, what Black comics can I get into? They're gonna list Black Sands.
Black Sands.
They're gonna list Tuskegee Heirs. Yeah, I've never read either one of them. But it's the word of mouth promotion that is so big amongst us, and people take it for granted. You know, let me stop on that because I could go on and on and on about
it. Yeah. But I mean, Black Sands does play a part of the Renaissance era because they got on Shark Tank the 1 year, and they got on the Breakfast Club. So again, that was sort of that spike of interest in Black comics during this time period. So for sure, I mean they're a part of the conversation for damn sure.
Yeah.
When it comes, I think they're working on anime and a video game right now. So we'll see. I mean, y'all better buy it on Xbox. Y'all better champion this anime like it's Naruto and Dragon Ball Z if you want to see more of it. So
you know how we do. We put them up hella higher than we do our own. But I don't want no smoke right now.
Yeah, we'll go into another live stream, man.
You know how, I ain't saying everybody, but a lot of some SOME, because I know somebody's ready to da. But listen, speaking of video games, my wife just gifted me with a PS5 for Christmas.
Nice, so congrats.
Whenever some Marvel games, I ain't gonna say no names, come out, I'll be ready to rock and roll, man. On that note.
Oh yeah, man, I can't wait for you to play as T'Challa in that game.
Well, he's gonna be in it. I mean, he's gonna be in it. I mean, that was up in the air. It's gonna be in it. We'll see what happens. Won't be playing Blade allegedly because that's gonna only be on Xbox, but
should be.
That's a smart business move for Xbox because PlayStation been balling. A lot of deal flow going on behind the scenes. Yeah, man.
Miles Morales Spider-Man was another big thing that came out like a year or two ago, last year.
You talking about the video game?
Yeah, the video game.
It was very short, but it was very short, very easy to beat. I played it. Yeah. So we were talking. Are we still in the middle of Black? So let's see what the comment said about this one. If they will load. I'm going back so far. All right, here we go. I think. And John, just see what some folks said. That being said, I think Black comics are a niche market, but a stable one. Now, granted, this is a year ago. Things have changed. I said the general public was driving prices up due to films and TV. Absolutely. Many of those buyers are not comic heads. Most of the valuable old books that I have is. Hence, yeah, I think we are in a superhero renaissance, but even more importantly, we are in a massive Black representation boom across multiple genres. Like I've never seen this before.
That's true.
I will argue this. I think in the early 90s, because I've gone back and seen so many little independent books Black independent books I didn't even know freaking exist pop up back then. But you didn't have the internet. You didn't have the internet to go and buy this stuff. So if you were in like Tucker City, Georgia, with a population of 6,000 people, and you didn't get out much, you didn't know nothing about Purge. You know nothing about no Static, Blood Syndicate. And so it might have been until like 2010 till you even heard of these guys.
Yeah. I was a kid and I watched the Static cartoon. I didn't even know it was a comic book.
I didn't know
it was legit DC.
I didn't know there was this big universe. I remember as a kid walking by the Static, the Blood Syndicate in the Icon cartoons. I'm not cartoons, but comic books.
Mm.
But as a kid, all I knew was white heroes. And if you were black, you were always in the back of the team, working in a van, or you were the muscle, like Mr. T, you're the muscle. Come on, man. Let's we can fight too. Like you were that guy. So when I saw these guys on that front of that comic book, my ignorant tail was on some, well, I don't want to pick up this book for them just to be a bunch of clowns. So I picked up my Superman. I picked up my Batman. I picked up my Spider-Man because they led in their own series, and then they were written in a right way. But with the black character, that's all I knew. It wasn't until the late '90s, so I was like, "Dang, Static is kind of cool." And he doesn't talk like he from the South Side of Chicago somewhere, right? He talks like me. He acts like me. He's into science. He's into STEM things. I'm getting this like.
No, you're good, man. No, I mean that's a real thing.
That's a real thing. Now people might want to pretend like I'm by myself on that. Oh, well, you was crazy. Listen, you're talking about 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kid. I don't know no better. You know what I'm saying? So I grew up in the South, and so that's kind of what we saw. That's kind of what we knew. The 40-year-old me obviously looks at this stuff differently. I've invested money and time into all this stuff. Definitely facts. 90s was all Spider-Man for me. Seeing Static on TV was big, and it was. And him to have his white sidekick, and they had a great relationship. Some of the rogues that he had his own rogue gallery. Yeah, it was also interesting to see the white jock that had the fire powers that used to always come for his head. That was interesting.
Shoot, the Anansi team up. I know a lot of people. I've met people who never knew about Anansi, but it was because of the Static cartoon that they knew about Anansi. Like that cartoon was huge. I honestly feel like I don't want to go on this whole tangent about Milestone 2.0 or whatever, but having that TV show or having the cartoon or having some kind of live action something would have definitely helped bring these IPs up to a modern sensibility. But I mean, you guys, we've talked about that for a long time now.
And then my boy Courtney said we're just getting started. He said that a year ago.
A year ago,
I argue, bro. It's gone now, bro.
Yeah, see, Chillmonger said that's my introduction to a Nazi. Yeah, I mean, cartoons is a powerful thing, man. It's a powerful look. TV movies is an introduction for a lot of these stories and elements.
Man, I remember this was cool when she showed up in the Toy
Story
Star Wars Bounty Hunter. Now we'll never see her again. but folks that ain't never messed with Star Wars mess with Star Wars because of her.
Yeah. I mean, if you want, we could talk about the mainstream because we had a lot of announcements over the last 3 years. We had the Black Superman with J.J. Abrams. We had that announced. Like we mentioned before, Milestone live action Static animated Milestone movie. We had the Ironheart series that was announced, TV series. We had the War Machine movie that was supposed to be announced, Armored Wars. Don't know where that's at. The Blade movie.
Get it.
I don't know where that's at either. Who knows if that's coming out or not, right?
You know what? And I don't. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. Y'all got to just log off. If you don't like what I'm about to say, log off because y'all not gonna like this. I really don't care what they do at this point. I don't, because again, the more mainstream media frustrates me, the more I realize these characters don't belong to me. They don't belong to me. I can have a YouTube channel. I can have a Facebook channel. I can have a bunch of followers. Marvel's not on this live. They're not sitting back like, man, Herschel's very, very concerned about the direction that we're going. And even if you guys make noise with me, at the end of the day, they've already set their agenda. They've already set their agenda and what they want to do. And I was talking to on a live Wednesday. I said, I think what we have to stop doing. Looks like we're on this live talking about Black characters, Black-centered stuff. You think these white boys going into this room? Not even on no racist stuff, but when they go into this room, they talking Odenheim, they're talking Thor, they're talking Bruce Banner, they're talking Clark Kent, they're talking
Plastic Man.
That's what they know. They didn't grow up reading Jungle Action. I collected all the variants for that. No, They didn't grow up thinking like that because that's not who they are. And it's not a fault to them. It's just where they're at.
Right.
Now, when I look at a Vonell Young and Delta Dogs, I can feel like I can get on the phone and press him like, yo, man, what we got to do to get you on in the studio? Because those are books for somebody that's like me. You know what I'm saying? He's a Black independent creator. So then his book is centered to sell to people like me. I can press him. Respectfully, of course, but I can press him. I can't press these multi-billion-dollar corporations to do my bidding and be upset. Not to say that I can't yell, kick, and scream. I'm not getting on folks that's doing that. But ultimately, my level of frustration is going to be here because I can't control what you do. I can report the news. I can say a little stuff here and there, but ultimately, you're gonna do what you're gonna do.
Right.
Listen,
And at the end of the day, it's not really. Sometimes you can say racism plays a part of it, but we all we're in the center of the universe of our own stories, right? So if I'm a story, we're all storytellers. Who's the default image of the story we're creating for? It's gonna be your own, us, or your own person. So for them, it's gonna be default white. For us, default Black. For Asian, default Asian. So it's a matter of who's in the office, right? Who's in the producer's room, who's in the writer's room, who owns the studios, who's got the money to produce these things, and having more of us in those positions of power to make it happen.
Great segue. I'm gonna make some more people log off.
Mm.
Because here's what I'm about to talk about.
What we got?
Byron Allen offers
snap.
to buy BET from Paramount Global for $3.5 billion. Now, let's go ahead and get the elephant out the room for some of my ninjas that are here. Byron Allen has already bought the Weather Channel. Byron Allen used to be a comedian. Byron Allen is a great Black entrepreneur. Byron Allen's married to a white woman. And so for a lot of people that how could he? We're not going to do that on this channel. But here's what we will do. We will say, let's figure out how we can say, hey, Byron, there's quite a big number of us in the community that think you can help us get some of these Black independent characters moving forward in some movies and some TV shows. Even if that means you get on BT needs to clean up a lot of fat that they got going on. There's a lot of stuff on there that's so self-destructive, but I understand
it's pretty much the Tyler Perry channel at this point.
Huh?
It's pretty much the Tyler Perry channel right now. It's Medea's channel.
It is. He's obviously Byron is not going in here thinking what black independent superheroes can I also set aside. He also needs to understand that his ready audience is not going to be the 15, 8, 9, 10-year-old young boys. It's going to be the 35 and older crowd that's going to watch the shows. Dude, I literally went into Walmart today on the toy aisle on Marvel Legends. It was full of guys, not full of kids, and they weren't buying for their sons. They're buying for them. A lot of us are reliving our childhood, self-inserting. I'm just putting it out there. That's what's going on. So whatever show you make, you need to make it for us. I would say we got to figure out some way of getting his attention and saying, listen, there's a market for this. And you saw what happened with Black Panther. You can get more of that. You can't do it with Black Panther because obviously Marvel owns that. Right. But you can do it with a Concrete. You can do it with an Eben. You can do it with a Black Man comic. That's by Larry, not Larry Phillip. That's by Tom Floyd. That's an amazing book to get started. You can even do it a little bit with Milestone if y'all can work out some contract negotiation. The sky is the limit. But again, we're working through our own people. And there's some barriers to that because everybody ain't comfortable working with their own people. I'm just going, can we just be honest?
Nah, you talking facts, man. You talking facts.
We'll trust that. We will beg and plead everybody else. We talk about our people. And never mind, he's not interested. Let's figure out a way to come to the table. Let him tell us, nah, I ain't interested. But I'm gonna tell you exactly what he goes. Let's say some weird way we get a bear, and I'm saying Byron Allen because y'all don't want to hear Tyler Perry because the only thing that y'all think what Tyler Perry can be is Madea. And what I'm asking as far as I've brought this up maybe a couple hundred times. Let's get his attention. Let him say, there's a there's a deal flow opportunity that I see in getting this. I'm not going to touch it with my influence, but I'll bankroll some of this stuff for a profit. Here's some studios. I'll get y'all some low level stuff. If it sells and we can get some of our ratings up, we can sit back down and renegotiate. Even the movie Black that was optioned out. And a lot of times things get optioned out because they want to get those rights on the floor. That would have been a good movie to put out. I love Craft Country that we all love. That could have been another show that you could put out. This all happens on the BET network.
Black Cotton could have been on BET Plus. Black
Let me
Cotton could have been on BET
pause
Plus.
that thought. Black Cotton, who we work with, could have easily been on BET on a Friday, Thursday evening, late night, 9, 8 o'clock. I'm just gonna pause that right there.
Yep.
I ain't begging a white company to please let us get out. Granted, well, Black Cotton is owned by those boys, so that's different. But the Lovecraft Country probably ain't owned by us. You know how that goes sometimes, but I have to do some research. But and I'm speculating on that, so please don't hold me to that. But yeah, absolutely. If we go bark and kick and scream, let's at least try our people. Let's try our people.
Yeah, no doubt. And I hope this deal goes through.
For barking and screaming, but let's hold and listen. The old network. Oh man, how we gonna get Oprah's attention, man? Oprah, trillionaire, man. What we gonna do, like, man? I don't want to mess with Oprah again. You don't have to like the person, but you have to understand and respect the person's influence.
True.
Let that sink in, bro. Think about what by the deals Byron Allen is able to leverage as a black man. Bill Cosby tried to try some of this stuff a couple years ago. They shut him down. He was a bigger
NBC. Yeah.
NBC. He was bigger than Byron Allen. Byron Allen was able to wiggle his way in and grab it, and now it belongs to him.
Right. Because we need ownership. We need ownership. We need that ownership. You know, Byron Allen gets BET, and then he works with Tyler Perry and get the studios because he owns the studio lots in Atlanta. Everyone's moving to Atlanta to work on TV and movies now.
Atlanta's already crowded. They're going to have to get another hot state. Atlanta's too hot right now.
Come down to Orlando. Maybe we can open up shop in Orlando again. Because it used to be like that, but it's not like that anymore.
Orlando used to be Baby LA back in the 90s. Yeah. When I was a kid growing up, it was Baby LA.
Yeah, but we need that.
Somebody said, Vanilla said, here we go. It said, Frustrated says, but it comes with VH1 as well. Absolutely. Now listen, you absolutely gonna have to play some ball. You ain't gonna have no Umar Johnson-ish type network on BT. That's not gonna happen. But you can definitely listen. The Concrete, the Delta Dogs, you name it, they should have first dibs or at least be able to come. Just like what Milestone did 2 years ago when they did the Milestone Initiative. They basically did a little contest to see, okay, give me some writers and black artists we're going to put you guys on. That's who just got through writing the Cyborgs and the Green Lanterns and stuff. These new up-and-coming artists. I would love to see a Byron Allen. Now, guess what? Something else, too. A lot of people don't know about this. And my boy tipped me off this. Byron Allen came in at 3.5. Guess how much BET asked him? Guess how much BET was asking?
4.
3.0. He came in 500,000 higher. Let that sink in, bro.
Right. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I'm hearing that Warner Discovery wants to do a merge.
They've been talking about that for years.
Huh?
They've been talking about that for years.
I don't know. They both in debt. Both companies in debt, whatever. The rumor was NBC Universal, Warner Media was gonna ship them, basically make themselves look presentable for a sale to NBC Universal, so that NBC Universal would take over Warner Media, Warner Discovery. Now there's rumors that Paramount and Warner Discovery are going to merge into one, which would nullify this purchase right here. So I hope it can happen sooner than later, because I don't want, this is an opportunity to kind of change the course of history here for entertainment for us. And it would suck if that merger was to complete. Well, there goes all these options and possibilities, because it pretty much would be the same. You're going to have the man who acts the Batgirl movie to be in charge of BET, like,
so
you know what I mean? Like that would be a mess.
Here's what I'm gonna do. A lot of times, and this is no shot at nobody, because this is sometimes in our makeup. This is in our DNA. And I get on to people around me about this all the time, and I get on to myself about this all the time. It is easy, like Vonell Young said, it's easy to complain. It's cheap to complain. It is also cheap to get on a YouTube channel and talk about what it would look like if we actually did something. So what I'm going to do in 2024, early 2024, I ain't gonna have time to do it. I actually might even start a little bit tonight. I'm gonna start tagging, or I'm gonna try to find the best efficient way to get an eyeball, the influence the little influence that we have, people around Byron or Byron himself to see the equity in Black comics, Black creatives, Black characters. And that means making videos about some of the things that's in the community, tagging his name, finding out his email address, or just getting his attention. I'm going to work on doing that because it's great and people, it's great for the comment section that we have this discussion. But if you're not going to turn this into any action, it's just a YouTube live.
Yeah. Hell, I heard Michael J. White. He opened up his own studio in Connecticut. Even him could produce something for somebody at some point. You know what I mean?
He did.
He opened up some film studio in Connecticut. His own little studio lot, or whatever.
Listen, man.
I won't say little. It's a legit studio lot.
Listen, I've seen a static YouTube movie. I've seen an Icon. I've seen a Sleepwalker from Marvel. I gotta watch that. And the threshold of independent films used to be like this. Now they're getting in mainstream standard.
Yep.
Used to be waiting for. Now the gap is slowly closing. Once you get past, and guess what? Godzilla -1 just proved with a smaller budget, you can still bring in some big bank.
15 million. That's still ridiculous for that movie to turn out so good and look so good for $15 million. It's crazy.
The movie looked cheaper than $15 million, and I wasn't blown away by it, but I don't know, man. Certain movies stuck their head out through the water. Godzilla did. Barbie looked at Marvel, looked at DC like, I don't know what y'all problem is, but we over here eating.
I know the most woke movie of 2023 and eating that good.
And guess what? Was Barbie okay? Was Barbie woke? Was Barbie this? Was Barbie that? I didn't see the movie, but all I know is when it came time to get that check, Barbie got that check.
They got that bill, right? And you're right. The fans have been doing it better. But we got people remaking Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Darth Vader. You know what I'm saying? And it looks so seamless, you can't even tell it's a fan edit. We got a lot of people making a lot of things work on a small budget. You give the right people $500K, $1 million, $5 million, $10 million, they can make some magic work with some of these IPs.
But the biggest issue is people feel like if I work with you, you're gonna finesse me and steal my idea. You're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. Everybody, and that's just not a Black thing. It's just a people thing.
Yeah,
people really think that you're gonna finesse it. So a lot of these, listen, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Black creators that's got a gold mine ready to go, on fire. But they're like, I'm not ready to have these executive CEO, big dollar money conversations right now. And they're not ready. And I applaud them for recognizing that, because you don't want to jump out there and then screw up and then you lose everything. You know what I'm saying? So you want to definitely jump out there when you're ready. But somebody told me the other day, if you wait a long time and you jump out there and it works the first time, you waited too long. When you jump out there, it's sometimes supposed to be jacked up. But those are your learning hours too. But if you wait 20 years and then I'm gonna put it out and everything is successful, waited too long.
Right. Yeah, those days of Marvel and DC ripping off Jack Kirby, Stan Lee, and like the Superman creators buying characters for pennies on a dollar, work for hire. I mean, it's 2023. There have been some rules and there's been some laws and legislature. Like things are more out in the open now. So I get the fear and paranoia of like, oh, this is my, I don't want no executive touching this and they're gonna screw me over and make riches on me. I think, like you said, if you wait too long, if you have a fair mindset for some of these things, you're gonna miss your timing. And I'm not saying being stupid, of course, lawyer up, but don't think automatically they're here to chip me off. Because I mean, opportunity comes like once in a lifetime. Sometimes,
Listen, what did you tell me? I hated that you brought this up. You said churches are the comics. The movies, the mega churches is the movies. And
Oh, I
nobody
said comics are the Bible.
Yeah.
The mega
No.
churches. Did I say that? Yeah. Well, how
You
did I
said
miss it?
that you said that the comics are the churches, the basic churches, Sunday morning,
Uh-huh.
Sunday school.
Sunday
but
school
but,
in the
but the
country.
the movies are like Joel's thing.
Yeah.
I would say TD Jakes, but I don't want the comment section to,
Oh
oh, let's talk
no.
about it. Let's
Oh
talk about it.
no.
Let's talk about it. I'm like, no,
Mm-mm-mm.
we're not doing that tonight.
Another channel.
Bro, it's already is it me or the day just fly by?
It's
It
that
was me. It
wintertime,
was me.
man. Must be that wintertime stuff, bro.
Yeah, every time I looked up, it was 2 hours ahead. Every time I looked up, God is trying to get the Monday. God is trying to get the 2024. He trying to help us
2024.
out.
Yeah. Real talk, man. Real talk.
What do you want to see in 24? I know I ain't gonna go into no detail, but I know you got something brewing too, with some history, some comics and stuff. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I'm always working on some stuff, man. I'm always working as I'm trying to become a director, writer, producer, and in this industries we're talking about. I always got stuff I'm working on, some comics. I'm definitely coming out with some heat next year. I got my musical, Costume is the musical, that I'm working on and releasing for next year. But overall, from everyone, I want to see something next year that pops off that's not Marvel or DC related. I want to see if we can get something from maybe Image. I would like, what I like to see? I would like to see Philadelphia get that adaptation. I think next year. I think horror and some of these other genres are going to open up the gates, because the superhero crash, superheroes. I know there's a whole topic and discussion about superhero burnout and the genre and whatnot, but I think other genres are going to pop through when it comes to this, because this is a crazy, no, not so crazy, but statement here is like, honestly, is the superhero genre even for us in that sense? Do we even fit in this lane per se? When you see some of the other successes of, like, we write novels, we do all these other forms of literature we're successful in, right? But the sequential graphic art, this comic book medium, is like the last stronghold for us not to punch through compared to other mediums of literature. So I think other genres might pop off next year, and if Philadelphia can get that adaptation, that might be the door opening right there.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Here we go. What you got? What you got?
Listen, man. I pray. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. If Rodney Barnes, for whatever reason, and I'm pretty positive that somebody has already said, "Yo, come over here to say," especially companies that aren't as affluent, that need big blockbusters, have already hit Rodney Barnes with a value, evaluated his comic, and said, "This is what the budget is for a movie." There's some people who probably already hit him up for a TV show. Rodney is probably sitting back like, "Those are some cool numbers, man, but it's not the number I want." Rodney's like, "Hey, man, that's a really good idea. You know what? I like those cameras. It's a 4K, okay, 8K, okay. What type of lens you use? That's great, man.
Yeah,
But it's not the lens I want to use."
right.
I guarantee you, man, somebody has already hit him up about Anita Halls, already hit him up about Philadelphia. The hardest decision, Rodney, because he ain't got the money decision. If they come to him with the right dollar, he's gone. But the third thing is, somebody's trying to buy. I bet you somebody wants to buy the property from him and get it out of his hands and hold it and say, "Okay, when I could drop it at my will." Rodney let that happen. Rodney done seen too many of his peers And Rodney's been in this game for a while, bro.
Yeah, you would know.
That's my pure speculation, but I know how this game worked behind the scenes. But the hardest decision he got to come up with is do he want to do a TV show or he want to hit us with a movie? Either way, go. Walking Dead better go ahead and pack up their bags. Last of Us, you put this strap over, y'all out of here, buddy. Because when they come through, they gonna clean the streets, bro. It's over. It's over. Now, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the thing that'll make certain people log off. Most of the cast is black. How do you do? Now, if Rodney stays in the game, he gonna keep the integrity of that. Now he gonna insert white folks here and there, Asian or whatever, all groups of people. But how do you get around that? Last time, it came out with something even close. You had what's that movie? Well, TV show was Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
Which looks like it was almost a love letter to Bitterroot. I mean, basically, like Bitterroot, y'all up next, like basically.
Yeah, hopefully.
But then you got but then with movie wise, you got what's the other good dude that used to be on and y'all gonna say his name. Key and Peele, the one of the directors.
You talking about Get Out, Jordan Peele?
Jordan Peele.
Nope.
So listen, does Jordan Peele need to be involved? He could be. But
Ryan Coogler got the X-Files reboot, so that's a big what's up. That's a big what's up to him.
If you're an X-Files fan, I kind of really didn't mess with X-Files like that for whatever reason.
It's horror sci-fi. I mean, like I said, horror sci-fi genre.
Anita Hall's, and you know what? We don't do enough of. We don't do enough fan casting for that. Now, I'm gonna do some more fan casting with BSF. Who should play the main lady? Now I already said my boy should play the main cop in Philadelphia.
That's,
the dude who just got through running.
Oh man!
I made a whole thing about that. Jonathan Majors should be the main character for that because he already got that. He already got that look about himself. All right,
dude. Do you want a season 2? Herschel, do you want a season 2 or not?
Season 2 what?
Dude, I would. That'd be kind of iffy, man. I don't know. They need some time on that. Need some time. Who said in the chat? Who was it that said was it Frustrated? Said that Jonathan Majors would be a good icon. Who said that? I could actually kind of.
Who said it would be a good icon?
Was it Frustrated Fan?
Said
Frustrated Fan Sports Show. Said Jonathan Majors would make a good icon.
If you want to, so when I look at icon, and maybe because of how Milestone drew him, is this big hulking character. His cape is huge, like a Spawn. Yeah. But I think that's just what the '90s was. Late '80s, early '90s. Even Prowler had this big cape, and they kind of did that with Batman.
Muscles.
I wouldn't say I wouldn't want him to be. I don't want. Listen, I'm gonna say something else. Make some folks log off too. It is what it is. So we talking about Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors is a hell of an actor.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was a hell of a king.
What?
I didn't think he was a hell of a king.
Well,
as a matter of fact, I would have rather see him be a original black character. Here we go. Here we go with this original black stuff. Yeah, original black character than King. You could have let him be a white guy for all I care. Now, would that have kept him out of trouble? Probably not, but it is what it is. I would have loved to see him be an original. And I don't really think that he should have really been a villain. There's some people that play villains better than they do heroes. What's his face has a very menacing demeanor about him, and I didn't see that. Who's the guy who played Superman? It's not like Paul Mooney. Keep asking people's names. The guy who just played Superman.
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill in Mission Impossible. That's
he killed that.
Bro, that's you. You're not a good guy. You're a bad guy. Some people just born to play. This guy here is Jonathan Majors is born to play like a middle of the road type character. That's who he's born to play, in my opinion. But I know I am an outlier when it comes to him. He definitely needs to go back to work. He's not going. It's going to be a while, but I would love to see him even going to DC. He is getting a little older, but he's in great shape, phenomenal shape, so he can still do some stuff.
I mean, he's not even 35 yet. He's got Yeah, I mean, he still has some time on his side to recover, and it won't be the end for him. It won't. I don't think it'll be the end for him. But I think the Kang character was just once he got beat by Ant-Man and Quantumania. I know people have been
Pause,
talking
pause.
about
I'm
this
sorry.
all year long.
Let me clarify. I didn't like him in Kane. That gave me a bad taste in my mouth. I loved him in Loki. I think
Loki,
he who
yeah.
remains. That's why I call myself he who trolls. I love him.
Yeah.
And we should have saw him popping up random. So okay, I know I'm going on and on. The Trek people will understand this. Remember during Star Trek, or even with the Flintstones, but y'all too young. But remember in Star Trek, the little white dude that just kept popping up with the little thing. He would pop up and troll people, and as soon as something bad happened, he'll pop out. You remember? Old heads will remember Gazoo from the Flintstones.
I remember. I know the Flintstones reference. Yeah.
That's the role I think that he should have played in the Kang Dynasty, to where there is all these Kang variants, but he's still there, kind of just trolling all the heroes as they battle, as they're going through stuff. I think that would have been amazing to watch him troll in the next 2 or 3 movies, but then leave breadcrumbs of how to maybe be successful. But then with some breadcrumbs that maybe got somebody maybe killed, hurt. I mean, I said let him be the ultimate troll and ultimately battle him at the end. I think that would have worked. And so I retract what I said. I loved him as Kang, just not Kang in Ant-Man. I think Ant-Man was a big waste of time. I felt like a 3-year-old wrote that stuff.
That was a bad variant. And I think Loki season 2 should have incorporated a reality where we did get to see a badass Kang kill people or show the menace, because we didn't get to see too much of the menace. We saw the troll side. We saw some of the potential of him doing these awful and evil things, horrendous things, but we didn't get a real sense of the menace. Because remember the end of Loki season 1, you saw the statue, like, oh snap, here we go. And season 2 was great, but we didn't get that real threat of like, okay, he really could mess up Thor. He really could mess up Iron Man. He could mess up all these guys, which I think was not to Jonathan Majors' acting performance. I think that was just pure writing and the direction taken by the MCU at that point. But Eric DeGuapo says Jonathan Majors as John Stewart. Look, I can kind of see that too, to be honest. He already played a soldier.
Thanks, frustrated.
Say what?
Darwin always comes up. Don't come up with white folks. White folks have moved on. But black folks will never, ever let that go. What happened to Darwin?
Adapt to this.
Huh?
Adapt to this.
Listen, I get it.
He was done. He was done, yo. I was like, y'all, really? We like, what's this? What, 2012, 2011? That's the only negative thing about the whole movie. That First Class was such a dope movie.
You know what, though?
That one thing.
I gotta go here, man. If somebody gonna get mad at me, I'm gonna go here, man. So y'all run into
monetized, man.
What's even more frustrating about Darwin is the fact that people walk by Darwin. This is Darwin right here, and nobody cares. This is the sad thing. Bro. Nobody cares about this character. That's sad because people will fight your mama about that scene, but won't give 2 damns about this character.
What happens in the comics.
He's black. He's actually black here. His mutation just makes him like that.
Yeah.
And I think I even alluded to that. I made a post about that. And people will go crazy. So here's the guy that's playing Mr. Terrific. Now,
if he dies first, what are we gonna do?
If he dies first, bro.
We walking out the theater? What we protesting? What we gonna do?
Listen, if he dies first, bro, I think so. Listen, I am not going to go on a national YouTube stream and tell people I'm against violence. But y'all need to go on the internet and go slap the hell off if he dies. Especially if somebody puts a ball in his mouth.
Oh no.
And tells him, survive this.
Survive this.
It's over, bro. I'm walking out. And I'm going straight on live stream. I'm gonna spoil the film and everything.
I guess he ain't so terrific.
Man, but listen, if you don't do nothing else, go and own the book, though. Go and get the first appearance of Mr. Terrific. You're probably wondering, okay, how do I do that? Well, it's a great segue into what we're about to do now. If I can get it to pop up, Mr. Terrific Black Comic Awards. I'm either gonna look like a fool. Oh, well, that's
There it is,
terrific.
right on your
I would
website.
definitely get this one too. This is the first appearance of the Terrifics. Definitely go and get this book if you can. Now, this is led by him. This is DC's first ever black-led team, and it's led by him. Now, you can I can already hear and smell the people that's finna say, well, he's a legacy character. Absolutely is. Yeah, enough about that. But yeah, but as far as everybody else,
Huh.
definitely go and pick this book up. His first appearance is the Spectre number. Was you able to see it? Did it
Yeah,
pop up?
yeah,
Okay.
it pops up. Yeah,
Okay, cool. But yeah, yeah, we'll see what happens, man.
we'll see what happens.
You don't need to mess up his outfit, and he needs to have the T that goes across his face.
Yeah,
He needs to have the fair play jacket, and he's real simple, dude. Real simple. I don't need to hear, oh, we didn't know this, we didn't know that. I don't need to hear none of that stuff.
Oh, he has superpowers? I thought he was just a normal dude in the
Dude.
jacket.
Well, he doesn't
No.
have any
No,
superpowers.
I'm saying for the DC, for the writer of the script or whatever. But, oh, he's got superpowers? I thought he was just a dude in a jacket. That's why he was the first to die.
No. He doesn't have any superpowers, but he's extremely intelligent.
Yo, shout out to my boy, shout out to D Smith, Dominic Smith from Behind the Scene Podcast. He be repping Mr. Terrific all the time. He was actually my introduction to the character, so shout out to you, man.
Yeah. What the heck was I finna say?
What we're gonna do about Wonder Man?
we're not gonna talk about him. We're not gonna talk about him. Let me go back. So listen, last little goofy conversation we gonna have. And that's running slow. I want to go back. Shout out to Mal Duncan and Bumblebee. The first black couple that were married. The first black couple in mainstream comics, superhero team in mainstream comics that nobody, not enough people cut for.
Yeah, Mal Duncan's your boy. You're the only one I know who promotes
because
that
I actually
character
understand the character. I read him. Dude was literally, listen, let me see. I think it's in here at the bottom.
I mean, just from the little things that you shown me, like through like whatever
Like
you
this one
post,
right
I'll take them over Black Goliath.
Listen, Mal Duncan, John really did do him wrong though in this. It was basically he was the Teen Titans janitor. Listen, the horn that he had, well, I'll get into Mal Duncan later. But the reason why, it's a lot of content on here. So I want to talk about this briefly. And I'm going to read y'all what this is about. I want y'all to think about this. Please read the entire post. A lot of people will just look at the pictures and then just start responding. You are a superhero recently. Now, you are a superhero yourself. This other superhero is trying to get at you. Would you date a superhero 10 times better, stronger, faster than you? Also, she is looking for a serious relationship only, and she doesn't like to play around. No capping. Like, are you going to mess with her? Like, she literally is lifting a freaking aircraft carrier. She's bad. Got a picture of Kevin Samuels down here.
Rest in peace to the dog father.
Do you think? Would you date a superheroine that nursed you? I'm sorry, that nursed you. Yes or no, and why?
Oh, so we're doing some red pill superhero talk?
Let's go red pill superhero talk, man.
Oh, snap. No, I'm gonna have to take a super soldier serum or something.
So Eric said, hell yes. Tell us why, Eric. Tell us why. So you say no?
I'm gonna say no. No, I'm gonna need a Infinity Gauntlet. I'm gonna need some kind of equalizer for it now. I would say no. I'm gonna say no.
So okay, would you date a woman that makes more money than you?
Makes more money. Oh, we on Black Comic Lords or we on Red Pill Lords?
We on behind the scenes right now. We on behind the scenes podcast.
Oh man.
You gotta take a switch.
Date. Listen, date. What constitutes date? Like serious or you just
like you said? I want a serious relationship.
I mean, yeah, for money, power, superpowers are different. Superpowers, yo, like that I don't look. If someone like that'd be like depending on how strong, like, come on, man. Like Bruce Banner can't be like out here,
But
willy nilly with his powers. You know
she's
what I mean?
literally
Like,
looking at you, willing to
uh-huh.
put. She knows that she's
I
better
mean,
than you. I mean,
death
she
by
knows
snoo
that.
snoo might not be too, but that might be not be a bad way to go out. You know what I'm saying? Death by snoo snoo. That might not be a bad way to go out. You know what?
Listen,
There's worse ways to go out in this world. Go for it.
the only problem if you don't rise to the occasion, she's gonna break up with you. She's not gonna kill you. She's not gonna be like she's gonna reject you, dump you. It's gonna be over with. But
Uh-huh.
if she's not rising to the occasion, I mean, because honestly, I don't need. I'm married. I don't need my
Wait,
wife to
wait
have
a second.
super.
Do I have superpowers or not?
You have superpowers, but you're just not
Uh,
as good as her. Like you're not
uh,
even close, bro. It's not
cause,
even
cause,
close.
cause, cause that would be like homeboy trying to get a Supergirl, some normal dude trying to get a Supergirl, and she
Ew.
got
But do you need
all these other
superpowers?
super guys
Listen,
in the Justice League. You know what I mean?
but where we psychologically look at this
Uh-huh.
crazy is what superpowers you need to make a relationship last. What superpowers do you need? You need to feel. You need to do the things that the person likes. There needs to be some reciprocity. There needs to be some love. All the basic stuff you need, right, that we do every day, doesn't require these superpowers. But the first thing we look at is the inadequacies in one another. But I don't know,
Mm.
man. Maybe it's a bad time to talk about this. But I just thought this came up, and it was
I
a great
mean,
topic.
some
We're
of
going
us
to
ain't
the next
built to
one.
be Mary Jane. You know what I'm saying? Stay at the place, be like, I'm worried my girl gonna come back. I mean, some to a certain extent, that's like in the military. But
Yeah.
I don't know. You'd have to give me a super soldier serum, Infinity Gauntlet, something. Mother box full of toys, something, man. I don't know.
Man,
I
I
don't know,
wanted
bro.
Triathlon to jump in the Kane Dynasty, but that's a wrap. He ain't jumping
Triathlon.
there.
Oh my gosh. You might as well just make a Nike superhero. Triathlon.
Triathlon, man.
Well, I'm faster than Usain Bolt. No, no,
Listen,
no, no offense to that, but that on paper, you might as well just say he
listen.
doesn't have superpowers.
This was probably the biggest find of 2023. Now, I don't 1,000% agree, but with this, because Lothar was the first black superhero.
Yeah.
Alien was the first black superhero, even in mainstream. Because and the problem with that, with a lot of people, is a lot of folks don't recognize is back in the 40s, the 30s, you had a lot of smaller titles on the same shelves as in being distributed with Timely, with DC Comics, the whole nine. The crazy thing about Lothar is he even predates DC, and he also predates Timely, which is Marvel Comics. So that's the interesting thing about this. But where this one gets very interesting is that he is actually based off of Joe Lewis. So who am I talking about? This is, I think his name is Sergeant Joe, and he was a comic strip hero. Doesn't matter, he's still a superhero. His name was Sergeant Joe. He
Hmm.
basically was just a guy that was in a costume and have his superpowers. But as you know, over here in the Black Comic Lords, we recognize that you don't have to have superpowers to be a superhero. You have to have according to the dictionary, you just have to have extraordinary ability, and you have to be a successful person. There's a multiple ways to be a superhero. If putting on a bat suit and jumping out of a window makes you a superhero, then putting on a costume and running around makes you a superhero as well. I mean, we can go
Yeah.
on and on about that, but this is taken out, and this is Sergeant Joe is extremely hard to find any information on. So good luck trying to go through. This is from a newspaper clipping. We're talking from the 40s. Let me go back. They might talk a little bit about this tonight. And he was created by a black man. 19 Mr. the Hype, Jack Brothers Studios, Appearing Award, July, September 1943, I want to say.
1943. That
Yeah.
seems about right. There was a lot of different war comics that came out during that time period. World War II. I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
That adds up.
And
I
Joe
mean,
Lewis like he finna punch this white dude in the face. Man,
oh
he
man,
finna box the snot out of here. This is Jackson Advocate, September 11th. Wow, September 11th, 1943. But
man.
shout out to Ken Quattro. This is a walking encyclopedia when it comes to golden age black characters. We even have a golden age section in blackcomic.net that everybody needs to go to, because a lot of people really just think comic books start with Marvel from 1966, where T'Challa was born, with black characters, but they actually go back even further than that. And that's not taking nothing away from T'Challa. It's just saying that there's been other people and beings out there, and we've already did the work by actually finding these characters and put them up here. And when I say find
Right.
them, it is actually a lot. One of my favorites out of this, and we're gonna wrap it up after this. This is definitely Weird Fantasy is definitely Derek's favorite book, and a lot of you guys know why that book is special. But Mystery Comics #1. When we talk about 1944, we don't really see. So this is the first appearance of CD, a gun-carrying superhero. So it's very, 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 very obscure. You see him here, and there's some other panels that we got to add. But he actually is carrying a gun and shooting white people in the 40s. This is not something that is common. When I say it's not common,
Nah.
it's not common. That's not even
Jeez.
supposed to happen. And he is also alongside Magnet, which has to have like Magneto type powers, but on a very, very low level. And he spoke pretty good English, but he was made to kind of resemble the leopard men, which were in Africa. And so I'll let
Mm.
y'all do a study on that. But he carried a gun, and they would go on adventures together and save the day. And it really, really, and this is a mainstream comic. Mystery Comics #1. This was a mainstream comic, ran for several issues. But again, this is the 40s. A lot comic books weren't just starting off, but they were still in their infancy, because you know the first comic books actually came out in the 1800s, but comic books were, for the most part, in newspapers. Newspapers were TikTok and Facebook back then. And so if you weren't in there, you just weren't popular. And so now you have comic books where so comic strips were a insert amongst all the other stuff that's going on in the world, but comic books were just dedicated to the comic strips and the comic pieces, and they just basically put them there. And they're all comics. You have comic strips, you have comic books, and a lot of these strips and books, if you can find the original, I mean, you'll probably destroy the time paradox, because you're not
Yeah.
even supposed to have that in your head, because this stuff is super rare.
Dude, most of the viewers and listeners on here can remember a time where you get the Sunday paper and your dad gives you the cartoon strips in the back of it.
Yeah,
You
you
read
always ask
Garfield,
for that.
Spider-Man, you know what I mean? All
Mhm.
those little strips on there. And that's a lot. I mean, now it's on Facebook. Those strips are on Facebook timelines. You know what I mean? Creators putting out their content out there. So the physical copy and physical media has just been transitioned to all digital now, man. I
Yeah,
mean, these are really time relics. If you can get your hand on some of this, you're
a
really
lot of this stuff
historians.
a lot of the stuff you can. Crown Comics actually made the list for the top. I think this is in the top 10 of this year. Comics that actually came out. This is Crown. This is the first appearance of Vada, who originally started off as a black hero, but he was written in Korea. I'm sorry, he was drawn by a black man, which is Matt Baker. This is from way back in 1945. Now he's not on this cover, and he was a part of the story that was on the inside. This book is kind of a ghost, but it pops up here and there. But I know a lot of people don't like the symbolism from the Golden Age, so they kind of stay away from it. A lot of people like modern books. Let me tell you a book. We go modern, right? This is where a lot of people like. If you haven't been to Black Comic Lords that you definitely need to go. We added, ISOM is here,
Yep.
Willpower. Listen,
Ace
probably,
Blade.
huh?
Ace Blade in the building.
Ace Blade is here.
Shout
Milestone
out to Danny
Darkness is
Quick.
here. We're adding some more modern independent titles in here. But Willpower by far, man, is probably one of the best reads I've had this year. This is an older book. We got to make some adjustments on here. You can actually go to willpower.com and buy this book will actually be 10 years old next year. But
Woo.
it looks crazy because of the legs and artwork, but when you read it, it actually makes sense on the
Hmm.
inside, man. So definitely go and check out these books on this website. And what we do with just basic books, we'll just send you to eBay to go pick them up. But for these Black Independents, we'll actually send you to the Black Independent Creators website. So if you have an issue with it loading, you can just click on the bottom, and these things will pop right up. We even have Acolyte on here. We have T'Challa's son here. We got some nice variants over here. These are one of the books that came out. This actually made top 7 of 2023, bro. I couldn't believe it. Green Lantern number
Green Lantern.
7, 3B, because I guess because of the cover. This was in the top 7 of 2023. Now I ain't gonna lie, you ain't gonna ever see no 2 Black Lanterns on a cover like this. Female Black Lanterns, you just ain't gonna do that. This is it. If you got
That's
it,
the
you got
only
it. You
one.
don't, you don't.
True,
Yeah.
true.
And the book is
Yeah,
cheap.
it's a dope cover too.
Dope cover. Yeah. Let's go back.
Seeing Christopher Priest, Quantum Woody reminded me about his announcement about even
I
Zero.
still don't even own this book, man. I gotta just click on it and just buy it. I gotta get around to it. I'm tripping.
Yeah, I hope 50 Cent develops that series for real.
Man,
01.
50 Cent,
but
man, 50 Cent is trolling everybody, man. He's
man,
trolling
we'll see.
everybody. But we'll see.
Yeah,
So
Trilogy didn't
Modern
get produced
obviously
yet
goes,
either.
Modern goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on, and it'll load. You guys, if you get here, you're like, oh, it's not loading. No, it's gonna load. It's Tuskegee Airs, the famous Tuskegee Airs. That's everywhere.
I got Tuskegee Airs. I got it from Greg Burnham in BlurredCon 2021. I enjoy it. And I'm not a YA kind of guy, but definitely I can see it can definitely hit for that audience. The artwork is good. I read through the whole thing, and for a YA book, that's pretty good. So
yeah,
I recommend it.
Yeah, man. I gotta get this Apocalypse Extracts book. I still don't own that. I just bought this for cover. Batman 34 variant. This is the barbershop. I call this the barbershop because he got a fresh cut. It's a dope cover too, man. I'm not a Black Batman fan, but that's a dope cover.
I like Jace Fox. I really enjoyed that story, man. I really think once he took him out of Gotham and took him out of that future state timeline, revealed, and I get it, show your face because you want to show the world you're Black, which to me didn't make much sense. I liked it concealed. Even Bruce Wayne having his cowl, his face exposed didn't make much sense. But I mean, Jace Fox, to me, he's definitely, if they could bring him, that was almost like a Batman Beyond 3.0 potentially.
Bro.
But, you know, it is what it is.
If you call yourself a Black Panther, I'm gonna say it. If you call yourself a Black Panther collector, in my opinion, you gotta have Fantastic Four Grand Design. If you got like a Black Panther section of very obscure stuff, dude, they literally pulled a Voltron. They have they did a roll call. I love this.
Panther
Rangers. Voltron / Power Ranger deal. They did a call, and they got together and they created their own Zord, and they
dude. Bro. I need to grab this one. I'm a big time Power Ranger Tokusatsu fan, so
I think I did a video on this, but I didn't do another one.
Dude, I would love to see an updated design in all the colors. That'd be kind of bumping. Green Panther, Yellow Panther.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Why haven't they actually like? So I'm not sure how canon or how uncanon this is, because this is Grand Design. I don't know what Grand Design actually was. I actually own this book, but the funny thing about this, they actually should do this. Now it's gonna piss off a lot of people, but why not have a Yellow Panther, a Green Panther,
Blue Panther,
and let T'Challa lead it, right? But then you don't have to do the Zords, but do the different colors, man. Come on,
right? Shout out to my boy Michael Anthony Kidner. He in Japan, Kamen Rider, which is like Japanese Power Ranger Super Sentai's older cousin, brother. They did they casted my friend who was a cosplayer as basically a Black Panther Ranger. They gave him the device. They never showed the suit. I saw a picture like that. They never showed the suit, but the morpher was basically Black Panther, and he was basically going to transform into a Black Panther Power Ranger Kamen Rider, but they never showed the suit when he actually transformed. So we were kind of close to getting one, but it didn't quite develop. We were close.
Listen, man. I know a lot of people are fighting for just a recast, and this stuff like this is not like I don't want to deal with this. I get that. And a lot of people want to have a good comic run. Why are you trying to tell us, Herschel, that we need to buy this? I think this is a silly but neat outlier store that you can just do on the side. Like the Ultimate Black Panther. If this is what that was, sign me up. Give me a pull list. I want this. I want to see what they're gonna do.
Dude,
I
Panther
think
Zord versus Godzilla. Come on, man. Panther Zord versus Godzilla.
Let's make
versus.
It happen.
Oh, you know what you should do? You should team them up. Have the Panther Zord team up with Black Goliath, take down a mutual threat. Then you got
you about to make me shut down this thing and send a tweet. Absolutely,
you got kaiju battle. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, since we're in a space right now where things aren't the best comic wise, go crazy.
Yeah.
But the worst that's gonna happen to you is people gonna hate it. They hate everything. People gonna complain about everything else.
Dude, kaijus are big right now. Everyone got like a kaiju monster, big monster, whatever. You know what I mean?
Kaijus are big.
I cosplay as Yellow Panther Zuni. I might pull on a little AI, see if we get an update on that. I don't know.
You should go and do a little AI on that.
I might do a little AI on that.
Let's see what else we have. So this is gonna be the last one, and then we're gonna get out of here because we kind of already hit the stuff. Now, if you are a independent, or if you feel like, oh yeah, I didn't see this book, go to Submitted Comic to the database. Click on this. We got you covered, man. If you got a problem because you ain't see your book, we got you covered. You can put the name, the year, and what the significance is. What is your name? And then guess what? If it's good and we want to add it, we're gonna drop your social. So underneath it, this was found by Dion Donovan with Behind the Scenes. That way, people are gonna go to your social. They're gonna follow you. You'll get some subs or whatever you need. Where you want to give credit where credit is due. So definitely submit some stuff. Now, please don't submit something if it's not a key. So here's the categories that you got to work with. It needs to be golden age for Black character, but it needs to be significant. And you also need to make sure that we already don't have it because you're gonna be wasting your time. Silver age, bronze, copper, modern. We got black grails. Why do you think this is a black grail? A grail is something that is extremely hard to obtain. A keys. Why is it a key? A lot of people don't even know what keys are. People just think things are keys. Oh, my mom showed up with a glass of water. That's the key. No. T'Challa had a do-rag on. That's the key. No. It needs to be a first appearance. Something mega big needs to happen this issue that's a turning point in order for this to be a key. And if we ever have to debate about it, we always toss it over here to the noteworthy part. For example, you see this little motorcycle T'Challa's on? Well, you know what? That's noteworthy because when it comes to Black superhero rides, when it comes to superhero rides, you think of Wonder Woman with the jet, you think of Batman with the Batmobile. You also got T'Challa with his car. Now, it's not limited to a vehicle. I said car, but I meant motorcycle. It's not limited to a vehicle, but it needs to be something noteworthy, controversial. When Falcon became Captain, watch this. Falcon became Captain America back in the 70s. There's receipts for that. So before people say, oh, he's been Cap for a while, for a lot of y'all born. Frequently asked questions, undervalued Black comics. Maybe it's a comic out there that's like, don't get no shine, don't get no tick. And a lot of people just don't know about it. We're going to throw it over in undervalued. Undervalued, we want that to soon go to a grail to the keys. The dope covers, obviously. We actually got to beat this up. We would love for y'all to submit some more dope covers. This is what we kind of have right now. And it's growing. Nobody's going to touch this live wire run of 1 through 12. It's just not. For a Black female superhero, nobody's going to touch that. That's just how hot that was. So here's some of them. This is probably the weaker out of our entire set because we just got to add some more stuff. But hey, we can't add more if you guys don't submit. But this is what we got as of right now.
Right. And don't forget for the listeners out there, 9:00 tonight, you got the New Year's roundup with with Paul and Rich.
Yeah.
Not you, but you're gonna have the whole crew tonight, 9:00, countdown the 20 best comics, Black comics of 2023.
No, we're not gonna do 20. That's gonna be a separate video.
Oh,
They're
okay.
gonna have a show where they're gonna talk about different things, but they're gonna wrap up basically everything they're gonna talk about is all the best of 2023,
Best of 2023. Okay,
and they're
gotcha.
gonna discuss that. It's gonna be dope. If I show up, it's gonna be super late, and I probably don't want to do that.
It's gonna
So
be a troll cameo,
it's
and
gonna be
near
a
the
troll
end, like
cameo.
5 minutes before the end, you're just gonna pop up.
Yeah. But anyways, folks, thank you guys for stopping by, checking this out. Yeah, appreciate your time. Happy New Year if I don't see you again. Thank you guys for coming in. We just wanted to chop up some small stuff. You know, I was thinking, Dion, maybe we can make this a permanent thing on Saturday nights. I don't know.
Saturday nights, okay, maybe.
Maybe not. I don't know. So
We'll figure it out.
if you find that if y'all see us next Saturday and a Saturday after that and a Saturday after that, we're just gonna keep giving y'all some more content, which means we're gonna be on Wednesday. Paul and Mark, you know, when they come back on Friday, maybe we're gonna have a trip, basically Friday, Saturday, Sunday, triple hitter, back to back to back, and then a Wednesday show.
This is
Maybe y'all need
damn
a
near a
break.
TV channel at this point. Y'all
Yeah,
hit the super chat. This is cable right here. You know what I mean?
Listen, Ripper goes on every day. Every day he got something to say.
Every day. That's the
Every
name of the
day.
game.
But anyways, man, have a good. What you doing for New Year's?
New Year's, I'm going to club, man. I'm going out raving.
What club you
Drinking and
going to
raving.
out here?
Call Vanguard downtown.
Vanguard.
It's like an EDM. It's an EDM rave club. Yeah, Vanguard. Got
EDM.
lights. Got all, dude.
Drugs, sex, and alcohol, huh?
The best of the best. So
y'all see how that just rolled off? Like it wasn't nothing. He didn't even process that. He just the best of the best.
Yeah, the best of the best. Yeah.
Well, to
wink.
To everybody that's watching, man, appreciate y'all for watching my ugly mug tonight. Shout out to make sure y'all like and subscribe. Listen, hit the bell. If you ain't hit the bell, hit the bell. Man. Hit the bell. That way you get notified. That way you know what's up. Yeah, that part. Yeah. Come back at 9:00. We're gonna have church service at 9.
Church
so
at 9.
Take a quick. Actually, y'all got 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. Get yourself some dinner.
Go to cook dinner. Go mess with your wife. Do whatever you gotta do. Just be back at 9:00.
Hey, take that heart-shaped herb. You know what I mean?
Take the heart-shaped herb. And go to work. Do what you gotta do, man.
And y'all be safe out there celebrating New Year. It's been a blessing. It's been a really great year.
Don't go to a rave club
like
that too. You're supposed to be going to church, not going to a club. I'm gonna call your mom, man. So you.
All right. I won't send no pictures, man. We'll keep it on the low. We keep it on the low, bro.
Okay, dope, man. All right, man. Y'all be safe.
All right, y'all take it easy. Peace.